In Trinidad and Tobago, citizens go to the polls on Monday's general elections to elect the next parliamentarians who will be responsible for appointing the Prime Minister. In Brazil, senior diplomats from the BRICS countries met this Monday in Rio de Janeiro to present a united front in the face of the complex international situation. And hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrero from the teleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We begin with the news. Stay with us. Trinidad and Tobago hold this Monday the 2025 general elections to elect the next parliamentarians who will be responsible for appointing the Prime Minister. More than 1 million citizens are eligible for these elections, which will have an electoral observation mission from the Caribbean community in order to guarantee the transparency and legitimacy of the process. The ruling nation People's Movements and the opposition party United National Congress seeks to obtain the majority of the seats in the Chamber of Representatives in the midst of the economic crisis the country is going through. We stayed in Trinidad and Tobago as outside polling stations voters shared their thought on the day and what's at stake in the 2025 general elections.
Any issues at all with when it comes to going and vote and things? Everything was running smooth. I've been spending about 5-6 minutes at least inside. I really come out this year to vote for change. So that is why I come out to stain my finger in order for a change to take place. I hope if the other side come into government that they take care of the people and they see about the people, because we will hold them accountable for that.
The crime rate, especially the food stuff, that is way up. There are people not working at the. I don't know how they make it out. Yes, so those is my concern, and I wish for betterment for everyone.
In this context, Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Stuart Young addressed the media after casting his vote earlier Monday.
Up to the population now. I am not one who worries about those things. Once I am satisfied, which I am, that we ran a good, hard campaign and we put forward as much as we could to the population. The population has to measure, and that's what I've been saying. Today is your day to go to the polls, to either give me a mandate to continue or not. Simple. I will be in my constituency, and once I've secured my constituency, which I believe I will quite easily, then I will make my way to Balize House.
You're concerned about them?
I expect to not only retain my constituency, but hopefully with record numbers. That's what I'm setting out to do.
And let's take a very short break, but don't go away because we'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. In Brazil, senior diplomats from BRICS countries will meet this Monday in Rio de Janeiro to present a united front in the face of a complex international situation. The meeting of the foreign minister of the integrations blocs will focus on strengthening the multilateral trade system, reforming the organizations that govern the international order, and cooperation between the countries of the South. For Brazil, which holds the presidency of this year's Cooperation Forum, for its part, in this context, the Brazilian Foreign Minister Mauro Vieira holds talks with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov on Sunday, aim at strengthening bilateral relations and debate on multilateralism and Washington's tariff aggressions. At the end of the meeting, The head of diplomacy announced that they had discussed issues related to cooperation between Moscow and Brazil, as well as the agenda of the BRICS ministerial meeting. Chinese President Xi Jinping urged Monday's workers and people to pay their debts for rejuvenating the nations. The national rejuvenations emerged as the main domestic goal, which already leaves behind the old policies. Currently, economic sectors come up with astonishing figures such as the 3 million new urban jobs. In addition, the Chinese head of state made clear that his government will not demand global factories, except those in the U.S., to pay an additional margin of 145% tariffs. A nationwide power outage hit Spain, Portugal, and regions of France on Monday, reportedly leaving millions without electricity. Around midday, users throughout peninsular Spain reported the interruption of the power supply. In addition, citizens of Portugal, Andorra, parts of France, Belgium, and Germany also registered power cuts. They also severely impacted Spain's telecommunications and public transportation systems, with the country's managing electric network company informing that the recovery of the service could take up to 10 hours. In this context, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez addressed the nation and assured that the causes for the outage are being investigated. In this regard, Sánchez called on citizens not to speculate and remain informed through official channels.
Las causas. Todavía no tenemos información concluyente.
We do not yet have conclusive information on the reasons for this outage, so I ask the public, as we have done in past crises, to inform themselves through official channels. It is better not to speculate. We will know the causes. We do not rule out any hypothesis, but for now we must focus on the most important thing, which is to return electricity to our homes.
Let's take a last break, but before we invite you to visit our Facebook page at teleSUR English. There you'll be able to watch our top stories, the specialized coverage, and much more. Follow our page and activate the notification button to stay up to date on the most recent events. We'll follow a short break, don't go away. Welcome back. The Prime Minister of Grenada, Deacon Mitchell, will arrive in Venezuela on Monday to strengthen diplomatic ties and cooperation between both nations. The Prime Minister was welcomed at the Maiquetía International Airport by several officials of the Bolivarian government. Venezuela and Grenada have maintained diplomatic relations for more than 47 years. The relations are considered successful, strategic, and highly beneficial for both nations, and are carried out under the principle of mutual respect for their territorial and political integrity. The two countries are also members of the regional TCP bloc. On Monday, the government of Venezuela issued an official communique condemning the kidnapping by the U.S. authority of 2-year-old Venezuelan girl, Michaelis Antonella Espinosa Bernal, who was separated from her mother before the repatriation flight. The official statement starts by denouncing they have once again committed the extremely serious offense of separating families and removing a minor from her emotional environment, and in particular from her biological mother. We also denounce that the father of the girl was kidnapped and sent without any form of trial or court action to the concentration camp that the satrap Bukele erected in El Salvador. It followed by stressing that In this despicable practice, human beings are subject to cruel and degrading treatments. Families are separated and Venezuelan citizens are sent to concentration camps in third countries ruled by the complicity governments and lackey in violation of any basic principle of due process and the rule of law. Furthermore, the Venezuelan government denounced that the only thing our compatriots are accused of to the shameful applause of the fascists of the Venezuelan extreme right, who gloated themselves in the crimes against humanity against our people, is having been born in our homeland. In its closing remarks, the government stressed that Venezuela will resort to all legal, political, and diplomatic mechanisms, as well as to all multilateral actions, aimed at ensuring that sacred integrity of our families is respected and that international law are upheld, so that the infant Michaelis Antonella Espinosa Bernal is returned safe and sound to her country. In Canada, citizens take to the polls on Monday in a federal election overshadowed by tariff, economic uncertainty, and annexation threats from the United States. Voters will decide whether to grant interim Prime Minister Mark Carney a full 4-year mandate or give the Conservative Party a turn at the wheel after more than 9 years of Liberal Party government. Canada's uneasy relationship with the U.S. has deeply influenced the tenor of this year's campaign. U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs against Canada exports pose a grave threat to the country's economy, and his threats to absorb Canada as the 51st state have enraged Canadians of every political persuasion. Moving on, the Palestinian Information Center presented on Sunday a new briefing on the massacre committed by Israeli occupation forces in the Gaza Strip, where they have killed over 2,000 families. The report confirmed that 65% of the Gazan death toll, representing over 31,000 fatal victims, were women and children. For that unfold, that U.S. and other Western countries have allocated weapons to the Netanyahu administration so that they turn into accomplices of Israel's bombing that claim 18,000 children's and over 12,400 women's lives. The briefings registered that Israeli rights whip 2,180 families off the map. Yemen Civil Defense has confirmed that U.S. bombing raids on the northwestern city of Sada have so far left 62 people dead. They were the 62 African migrants who were in a center housing a total of 115 people. The Yemeni Interior Minister also confirmed that 47 others were injured, some of them seriously. The United States and the United Kingdom's self-proclaimed powerful nations are attacking one of the poorest countries in the world because Yemen opposes the genocide perpetrated by Israel, a pattern of the West against Palestinian women and children. We have come to the end of this news brief. You can find this and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on our socials, on Facebook, on X, and on Instagram as well. For Telesur English and from the South, I'm Ana Marrero. Thank you for watching.